John, I've greatly admired your work over many decades. I have been an acolyte before it. But when you told me that you think that this world, with all its misery and horror, is indeed the best of all possible worlds, which everybody made fun of Leibniz for saying, I was disoriented.
Well, I think you may have got me slightly wrong. When I am willing to defend the view this is the best of all possible worlds, I take the world to mean the sum total of reality.
Okay.
I don't mean this universe we live in. I think of the sum total of reality as infinitely rich. I have the view that the infinite riches are, in fact, structures in a divine mind which thinks of everything which is worth thinking about. So you and I are some of the things which the divine mind is thinking about in full detail, and that makes us us. But the essential point here is that we're talking about not just this universe, but an infinite number of universes obeying perhaps all sorts of different laws. It's certainly true that we could improve this world of ours, but we can improve it from the inside. If somebody wanted to make it a better world from the outside, that person or that force or whatever was trying to do this would be making another world, not ours. People make fun of Leibniz for believing in the best of all possible worlds, but he did stress that by world he meant the whole sequence of created things, the whole sequence of things to infinity.
Yet we only see what we see, and the only world that we see in terms of conscious habitation is our own. So we have one data point that we know for sure. All the others are could be fantasy, or could be certainly speculation.
Yeah, certainly speculation. I think that even the idea that anything is better or worse than anything else is itself speculation. What I'm here trying to do is to draw out the consequences of the theory that value is in some way behind the universe. For example, because there's a divine being who wanted to produce value and created the universe. Or because Plato was right and somehow value is itself able to act creatively. If I'm trying to draw out the consequences of that view, it ends up with the view that the world must be best possible, and then I have to defend this apparently stupid view.
Yes, right. That's the sequence. If you start with value, and value created the universe, you got to explain what we got in our little part of the universe.
You have, and the only way, I think, to make it plausible that you've got the best situation is to say the situation is infinitely more rich than the little thing we see.
Well, basically what you're seeing is that, yes, this is very bad, the part we're in, but there's all these other parts that we don't know about that are better, so that the collective whole is the best.
Not sure they're better. I'm not sure there was. What I think is that this world does at least add some value to the sum total, and anybody who wanted to attack my general position, which is that everything which is worth having is in the total situation, is going to have to say, well, if you're put in charge of an annihilation machine and you can push the button and our world vanishes, you ought to push the button. And I think that's an evil view.
Okay, but you certainly can imagine views of our world that has less evil in it.
You can imagine views of our world running differently if particular people had acted in different ways. Now, there's a very basic question whether the world could actually be our world if they had acted in different ways, because a large number of physicists think of the world as deterministic. That's to say, if you ran it again from the same starting point, you'd get exactly the same people doing the same things. Other physicists say that the world could go in different ways according to how quantum events turn out. Well, they might be right, in which case we have one world in which people act in one particular set of ways, one world in which they act in another set of ways, and so on. You have many of these worlds. My view is that all of them are worth having in the total scheme of things, and it would be a disaster if any of them were annihilated. The important point to see is that you can believe that the world is the best possible world without going around and saying everybody acts in the best possible way. What a good thing that this particular volcano blew just when the explorers were going up its flanks and so on. These stupid views, these wicked views, are in no way involved in thinking that the total scheme of things is the best possible. And I defy you to prove that that's wrong.